On a cracked medical screen, a shape sits curled inside a woman's chest. It's an alien queen, and it's growing. The woman staring at the screen has killed this creature twice before. Now she's carrying one. To understand how the deadliest survivor of this species ends up as its host, we go back to the ship that brought her here. The transport ship Sulaco drifts home through deep space. 4 survivors sleep in cryo: Ripley, a child named Newt, a wounded corporal named Hicks, and a broken android named Bishop. None of them know a facehugger is loose on the ship. The creature fastens onto Ripley's tube. Its acid blood drips onto the deck and eats through the wiring, and a fire starts. The ship's computer seals the 4 sleepers into an escape pod and launches it into space. The pod crashes into the ocean of Fiorina 161, a bleak, iron world that was once a maximum security prison. The impact tears the pod apart. Newt drowns in her tube. Hicks is killed by the wreckage. Bishop is smashed beyond repair. The prison's inmates drag Ripley from the surf, the only survivor of the crash. She's also the only one who knows they didn't land alone, and the only one no one here will believe. Fiorina 161 is a lead foundry now, mostly shut down, kept running by a handful of men who chose to stay behind. They were all violent offenders once, but now in their isolation, they've taken up a strict religion and sworn off the world outside. A woman hasn't set foot here in years. Ripley wakes in the infirmary under the care of Clemens, the prison doctor. He treats her wounds and gives her something for the pain. While she rests, the inmates haul the wrecked pod into the foundry with a crane. Something rides in with it, unseen. The facehugger slips loose and finds one of the oxen the prisoners keep for labor. The superintendent, Andrews, tells the men there's now a woman in the building. Some of them warn it will bring trouble. Andrews says a company rescue ship is already on its way and will arrive within the week. He orders Ripley to stay in the infirmary until it does. The real authority among the inmates is Dylan, their spiritual leader. He was a dangerous man once. Now he keeps the peace and preaches faith to the others. Once Ripley is stronger, she insists on seeing the wreckage. Clemens walks her through how each person died. At Newt's tube, she notices a scorch mark burned into the side. She knows that mark. The alien bleeds acid. She demands an autopsy on the child, telling Clemens it's to rule out an infection. He opens the body. Newt drowned, and there's nothing inside her. Ripley lets herself feel relief. Andrews arrives and scolds her for leaving the infirmary. She deflects by insisting the bodies be cremated, using the infection story as cover. Newt and Hicks are lowered into the foundry furnace. Dylan stands over them and delivers a eulogy on death and redemption. As he speaks, the infected ox in another part of the prison begins to convulse. Quick question before the alien shows up. A lot of you first saw this one on VHS or DVD, not in a theater, because that's how this version found its audience. If that's you, drop the year you watched it and where you watched it. The new alien tears its way out of the ox and disappears into the building. Because it was born from an animal that walks on 4 legs, this one moves on all 4s. It's faster than anything Ripley has faced. Ripley shaves her head. Prison policy against lice. In the mess hall, she tries to thank Dylan for the eulogy. He warns her not to look to him for friendship, admitting he's done terrible things to women in the past. She sits and eats with him anyway. Later, she asks Clemens about the prisoner's barcode tattooed on his skull and whether he's a criminal too. He turns the question around, asking the real reason for the autopsy. The two grow close and become lovers. Elsewhere, an inmate named Murphy works alone in a ventilation shaft. He finds a strange shed skin on the floor. He hears a noise, leans in for a closer look, and meets the alien. It sprays acid into his face. He stumbles backward into a massive fan. The others find what's left of him soon after. Clemens examines the remains. Andrews assumes Murphy got careless near the machinery. Clemens notices the fan was blowing toward the body, not pulling it in, and he finds another acid burn like the one on the pod. He goes looking for Ripley. He finds her digging through the wreckage for the flight recorder and tells her about Murphy. She wants to recover Bishop before she explains anything. Clemens can't go with her. Andrews has called him in. In that meeting, Andrews warns Clemens to keep Ripley in line. He reveals the company has sent urgent messages about her, insisting she matters to them, though he doesn't know why. He threatens to expose Clemens' past if he steps out of line. 3 inmates, Boggs, Rains, and Gollix, are mapping the tunnels with candles when the alien finds them. It takes Rains first, then Boggs. The blood sprays across Gollix who freezes, then runs. Meanwhile, Ripley reaches the garbage dump and recovers Bishop's remains. As she leaves, 3 prisoners corner her and try to assault her. Dylan arrives and beats them off with a steel bar. Ripley walks away. She wires Bishop to a power supply and switches him on. Through him, she reaches the flight recorder. It confirms what she feared. A fire forced them off the Sulaco, an alien traveled with them, and the company already knows. In pain, Bishop asks her to shut him down for good. So she does. Golic is dragged into the infirmary, soaked in blood, swearing he killed no one. The dragon did. The others think he's lost his mind. Dylan insists Golic has never been a liar. Ripley confirms the creature is real. In Andrew's office, she lays out everything she knows about the alien. He tells her the prison holds no guns at all, only knives and fire axes. And then he confines her again. Back in the infirmary, Ripley feels ill, and Clemens gives her another shot. To distract her, he finally tells his story. A drug addiction once led him to a fatal mistake that killed several men, and that's how he ended up here. The moment he finishes, the alien drops from the shadows and kills him in front of her. It corners her against the wall. It studies her, then it turns and leaves through the ceiling, taking Clemens with it. It doesn't touch her. She runs to the mess hall, where Andrews is forming a search party. She tells them the alien is here. Andrews refuses to listen and is pulled up through the ceiling mid-sentence. Blood drips from the vent. With the leaders gone, the men argue over who's in charge. Morse blames Ripley for bringing the creature down on them. Dylan silences him and tells them to listen. Ripley studies the floor plans and finds the prison's one advantage: a maze of tunnels, a toxic waste unit that seals shut, and barrels of flammable fuel. Their first plan is to burn the alien out. The men coat the tunnels in fuel and forbid any open flame. One inmate fumbles a flare. The alien strikes in the same instant. The flare drops, and the tunnels erupt. Several men burn before the sprinklers come on. The group is much smaller now. Feeling worse, Ripley goes to the pod's medical scanner with Aaron, the superintendent's slow assistant the men call 85. The scan shows the truth. A queen embryo is growing inside her. That's why the alien won't kill her. She's carrying its future. Now she understands why the company wants her alive. They aren't coming to rescue her. They want the queen for their weapons program. She tells Aaron to warn the ship away. He refuses, since it's their only way home. A message comes through. The ship arrives in 2 hours, and its one priority is to keep Ripley quarantined. The men try again, and this time, it works. They lure the alien into the sealed toxic waste chamber and trap it alive behind the doors. For a moment, it's over. It doesn't last. Golic, still bound and now certain the creature is holy, breaks free, kills the guard, and opens the doors to set his dragon loose. The alien kills him at once and vanishes back into the tunnels. Ripley hunts it alone. She swings at a shape in the dark and finds only a rusted pipe. The alien is right behind her, and again it lets her live. She finds Dylan and tells him the truth. The thing inside her is a queen, and it can make thousands more. She asks him to kill her now. He refuses. Her immunity is the one weapon they have left. She agrees to help, on one condition. He ends it for her when the alien is dead. Dylan gathers the survivors. Ripley tells them the company saw her veteran crew and trained soldiers as expendable, so it will never let a handful of convicts walk away. The men commit to a final plan. They'll bait the creature through the foundry's molding works, sealing doors behind it, and drown it in molten lead. The chase is chaos. The old machinery barely works, and the maze of corridors confuses everyone. The men pass the alien from one to the next like a relay, and it kills several of them along the way. The company's ship lands, and Aaron slips out to meet it. Dylan drags a body toward the mold as bait, but the alien senses the trap and pulls back. With minutes left, the men scatter to lure it again and lose more of their number. At last, Ripley faces the creature herself with a flare, trying to force it to follow. Dylan drags her away, and the alien chases them both into the mold. Morse seals the door and runs for the controls. Ripley tries to stay inside and die with it. Dylan pulls her out and stays behind, holding the alien in place. The molten lead floods the chamber, covering both Dylan and the creature. For a moment, it seems finished. Then the alien bursts out, glowing with heat, and comes after Ripley. She climbs. Morse shouts at her to use the sprinklers. She leaps and triggers them. The cold water hits the burning creature, and the shock cracks it apart until it shatters. The company team surrounds her. Among them stands a man with Bishop's exact face, who says he's the human who designed the androids, not a machine. He promises that surgeons can remove the queen and destroy it, yet still save her. Ripley doesn't believe a word. Aaron sees the truth too late and swings a wrench at the man. The soldiers gun him down. Morse is shot in the leg. Ripley climbs onto a platform above the furnace. The company men beg her to hand over the specimen. She spreads her arms and falls backward into the fire, taking the queen with her, so the company can never have it. The foundry goes dark and is shut down for good. Morse, the last man alive, is led away. In the empty wreck, an old recording plays. It's Ripley's first message from the Nostromo years ago, and she was the only one left. Here's what almost nobody says about this ending. Ripley's death isn't a defeat. It's the only real victory in the whole film. From the moment she wakes up on Fiorina, she controls nothing. No weapons, no rescue she can trust, no body that's even fully her own. The company holds every card. So when she steps off that platform, she's doing the one thing left that's actually hers. She decides how the story ends. And she makes sure the thing inside her dies with her. The company came to collect a weapon. She made sure there was nothing to collect. Alien 3 was David Fincher's first film, made when he was 27, and the shoot was a nightmare. He started without a finished script, ran over budget, and later said he was fired off the picture 3 times. When it reached theaters in 1992, it was disliked for killing a hero audiences loved, drew mixed reviews, and barely recouped its costs in the US. Fincher disowned it completely and has said no one hates the film more than he does. The version you just watched isn't the one released in the theaters. In 2003, the studio rebuilt a longer cut from old footage, about 30 minutes longer, including the ox and the trapped creature. Fincher had nothing to do with it, but that rebuilt cut is the reason this film has a second life. People found it on disc and streaming, and slowly came to realize the bleakest alien might also be one of the bravest. The director may have walked away from the film, but audiences have refused to. If you enjoyed this recap, please like and subscribe. It would really help the channel. Thanks for watching.